Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents another exciting edition of Inside Pitch Advanced. This is demo game number 2. We're going to be here at Wrigley Field for a demonstration game between the 1984 San Diego Padres and the Chicago Cubs. This is not going to be as in-depth demo game as they did the first one between the Royals and the Yankees of '78. This is going to be a little faster, as I really want to try to see if I can play this game at normal speed like I normally do for Inside Pitch. This is another chance for you guys to maybe ask some questions while I play this game out. We're going to get right to it. We're not going to dilly-dally. I've already explained to you. For those of you that really want to know what changes were made, I submit to you, go to the first demo game, and for the first half hour, I pretty much detailed the changes between Inside Pitch and Inside Pitch Advanced. I've already gotten with Chris on a couple of things so far that I noticed in the first game, and he's now doing some corrections to some of the rule sums I found in the game, and he'll be posting it. So expect a beta version of the game to be available for download in the Inside Pitch forums, and you guys will be able to download them, maybe print out some cards, go ahead and try the game for yourself. All right, and maybe make any suggestions to Chris before he officially releases this game. He wants to release this game officially next week. I'm thinking maybe the week after that it should be official, and that's when we'll actually see it available for sale. The 3 seasons he has right now that he says he can be released is 1978, 1984, and 2024. In my opinion, 3 very good seasons. 1978, a good classic season of baseball during baseball's golden age. 1984, which today we're going to play a game between the '84 Padres and Cubs. Because of it's a good defensive season, and 2024 to see if the game goes ahead and plays well with modern day baseball, which it will, of course, will. Okay, so we should see a game here of 1984, maybe a little differently than 1977 or 1978 played in the last demo game. So this is going to be just a quick I'm going to try to play this game a little faster. Try it at normal speed. But however, if anything new features show up, if any new features, show up, okay, I'll slow down a little bit and show you exactly what we have. So I have my, my pointer here to show you exactly what we're going to see as we move through these demos. As I said before, Inside Pitch Advanced is not for everyone. It is not a one and done role like some games out there. It's still a beta game, but it's now pretty much ready to go. He only has 3 seasons available, but according to him, he can make a season, maybe like 1 season every 2 weeks or something, 1 or every 2 or every 3. He can release a new year, something like that as we move forward into the creation of this game. And for those of you that are expecting, miracles out of this, please not. This is a little bit different than regular Inside Pitch. I'll be honest with you right now. I am, of course, playing my 1999 Inside Pitch continuing tonight between the Angels and the Athletics. That's okay. But I'll be honest right now. After playing the demo games and some of these games offline, I really wish 1999 was already available in Inside Pitch Advanced. So, Malbert's 20, good to have you here. So, for those of you that want to ask some questions, I'll try to do my best to answer them. And if not, I'll just play through here. Clockerot, assume that if you have the old version, you'll be able to buy brand new as opposed to an upgrade. As it said, if you have it's not an old version. Remember, Inside Pitch is not an old version. So everyone's saying, oh, Inside Pitch is the old game. No, it's not. It is still Inside Pitch. Inside Pitch Advanced is Inside Pitch kind of way upgraded to an nth degree. Regular Inside Pitch is not going anywhere. He is still going to make seasons for regular Inside Pitch, and of course new seasons for Inside Pitch Advanced as they come through. All right, asking for what he's going to do for people who have already purchased seasons of regular IP, that's up to him. You'll have to get with him. I have no answers for that concerning any discounts or whatever. But you will have to get new stuff for Inside Pitch Advanced, because there are certain things that Inside Pitch Advanced does have that regular Inside Pitch does not have. So for those of you that are here to watch, play a quick game here, I'm going to try to get through it. Okay. As I said, I'm not going to go through all the cards again. I'm not going to go through the information. But if something new comes up, I'll stop slowly and we'll go through it. Okay. Charts and all that stuff. For those of you that really want to see what the difference is between the two games, go to demo game number 1. I am going to do a third demo game as well. And that's going to be the 2024 New York Mets against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I will probably be doing that probably Friday because this week is actually 1999 All-Star week. The All-Star game for my 99 season is scheduled for this week, probably Thursday. All right. So I'll probably do a 2024 demo of Inside Pitch Advanced on Friday during the All-Star break. Anyway, let's get things started here. We're going to be at Wrigley Field, 1984 Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field adds one to walks. No other adjustments, whether lefties or righties. There is a chance to rob a home run if the ball is hit if the ball is hit the center field. Okay, and a 1 shows up on the die rolls. So no, nothing from regular inside pitch is compatible. Nothing. It's, as you know, he runs on an 8x8 system on the Matrix. Nothing from regular inside pitch is compatible. It is a totally new game. If you like, my good guys. Let's get things started here. Starting pitcher for the 84 Chicago Cubs is going to be, I chose Rick Sutcliffe for this game. 20 wins, 6 losses. He had a 3.64 ERA. I just thought Sutcliffe would be a good choice for the Cubs. The lineups are my own, although I did get a little help from Baseball Reference to make the lineups. So let's go to the top of the first and let's play some baseball. Leading off for the Padres is going to be second baseman Alan Wiggins. We're going to use blue, white, and powder blue dice since he has the Cubs as a dark blue and there's a little bit lighter blue. So I'm going to use powder blue for that as he's changed the colors a bit here. So let's see if I can play this game a little faster at my normal speed. Probably not, but for those of you in the chat, welcome and just watch a little baseball. Sutcliffe, 7-3, strikeout 12. That is going to be strikeout 12 against, let's see, 7-3. Let's go right here, 7-3, strikeout 12. I have to get used to having these up here. Against a righty, that strikeout at 12 is too high. Wiggins, a 3-8, and that's going to be a ground out to first. That'll be out number 1. Next batter is going to be the right fielder, Hall of Famer, Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest of all time, of course, and the best hitter I've ever seen. Sutcliffe, 7-6, and that is a strikeout. 17 is going to be too high. Gwynn, a 2-5, and that's going to be a base hit. That'll be a single to left field, and Gwynn will get to first. Now, the only thing you're rolling now on strategy rolls is for sacrifice, hit attempts, and hit and run, and of course jump. Now it's no longer a steal attempt. Instead of calling this the attempt, he probably could have just called this jump, but that is fine. But we still roll a strategy roll, even though he says you can use the original strategy roll if you didn't use it. I like rolling it. That's a 17, that's a 17. Actually, I should bring the next batter, which is Steve Garvey, and not listed in the hit and run chance here, so we're not going to hit and run. Here's Steve Garvey. He's at first base. Infield set for double play. Remember, there's no really double play depth. Everything is now used by adjustments. Sutcliffe, 4-2, and that's a blank. Garvey, a 1-4, and that's going to be a single pass second, and that's just a regular S4, so you just use the regular S4 chart. And of course, the base running ratings are now up here for the batters. So a single pass second, Gwynn needs to be a 5 or higher to get to third. He's a 6, he'll get there, and that is a base hit for Garvey. So single for Garvey. Looks like it's about to rain outside my window. That'll bring up the third baseman, Greg Nettles. Where did we see him before? Oh, yeah, the 77 Yankees. We're going to play the infield back. No need for any infield in yet here. So strategy roll again, and that is a 16, and nothing here for Nettles. Nothing here for Nettles at all for hit and run or sacrifice hit. And Garvey, attempt rating is a hit and run, so nothing happening there. Good to see Craig Scarborough and PC Sports Cards and Dice Games. So Sutcliffe will pitch. Sutcliffe 1-8, strikeout 16 is going to be too high. Nettles 8-6, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. We get to use the fly out chart. So let's do that. That's a fly ball to right field. That's out number 2. The first thing we check is the sacrifice fly. Greg Nettles has a sacrifice fly of 18. Of course, the lower, equal to or lower, it's a sacrifice fly. Since we did not use the D20, we can just look right to it, and that's a 17. We don't even have to go to the new fly out advanced chart. So roll 1 D20 versus SF rating, less than or equal to sacrifice fly. We don't even have to do that because we didn't use the D20 for anything. It was a fly to right, so we could just use the D20 as an 18, a 17, and that's it. One roll does it all, and that's going to be a sacrifice fly, and Nettles will bring in a run. Garvey stays at first. So just like that, the Padres get the first run of the game. It's 1-0. Craig Scarborough, of course, in the chat. He is one of the innovators of Inside Pitch Advanced. He is the one that created some of the software that made this game as it is. There's now 2 outs. Here's the catcher, Terry Kennedy. I'm not going to do a full broadcast version as I usually do. We're just trying to see if I can play this game normally. So strategy roll, and that is a 16, nothing happening. Kennedy has no hit and run or sacrifice hits. Garvey, the only way he can try attempt to steal is on a hit and run, so it's not happening. Sutcliffe, 6-1, that is a blank. Kennedy, a 1-7, and that's a G5. That's a ground out to third, and that will take care of the inning. 1 run on 2 hits and a sacrifice fly, and the Padres have a quick 1-0 lead. I know I'm using the 99 Padre logo up here because I do not have my 84 logos available, but I don't think you guys give a damn about that. Starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres, I chose Eric Shao. 15 wins, 9 losses. He had a 3.40 ERA. I thought he was very, very capable. Yes, I am slacking. So Shao is going to be the starting pitcher for the Padres. Both Sutcliffe can actually pitch to 30 batters before he tires, and Shao can go 26. So we will see what happens as we go to the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Cubs is going to be the center fielder, Bob Dernier. All the innovation is pure Chris. The software just allows us to run multiple season runs. Yes, but it was one of your abilities to go ahead and give him the, shall we say, the itch to create, in his opinion, maybe the most exciting tabletop baseball game ever. I always felt Inside Pitch was already that, and this game is actually maybe even more fun to play. Shao, 8-6, and against a righty strikeout, the 12 is going to be too high. Dernier, 2-6, and that's a ground out to short. That's going to be out number 1. As I said, this is a demo game. I'm just trying to go ahead and see if I can play this game at full speed. Second baseman Ryne Sandberg is the next batter. May he rest in peace. Hall of Famer, and yes, one of the greatest second basemen of all time. Shao, 6-6, and against that's a walk. That is a 1, and that is going to be a walk against Sandberg. Will draw the base on balls, and Shao gives up a walk. He had 84 of them in 84. The one thing I like about the larger matrix, the 8x8, there are a lot more results you can put there, and in my opinion, it makes it more accurate because now he has more cells to work with than he did with only 6x6. He had to make many rules changes. As I said, some of the game has been streamlined and such. Infield double play. Sandberg has an attempt rating of 5. Let's see if anything on the strat, and no. Sandberg got an attempt rating of 5. Shao, that was a 6, but Shao's hold rating is a 0. So Sandberg will stay where he is. Shao will go. Now, you can, of course, choose to steal if you want. He actually has a nice rule for that, the jump rating. That is in the rule book. Shao will pitch. 7-1, hit by pitch +1. So now the hit batters are now automatically put into the matrix. So now hit by pitch +1. Matthews' hit by pitch rating is a 6. So you add 1 from Shao, it's a +1, makes him a 7. That's a 12. It's not a hit by pitch. And now we go ahead and move to Matthews' card. 4-5, and that is a G1. That's a ground ball to the pitcher. Now we'll check to see the double play rating. Now the double play rating has been changed. It's no longer checking. It's no longer, what the double play rating is when you add with the batter. The batter's double play rating here is a 12 plus. So this is what you do. This is now what we do here. For the double play rating, you take the where the ball was hit to. So it's hit to the pitcher, and I'll show you the chart. So here's the new double play mod that is now being used. So what you do is the ball is hit to the pitcher. Pitcher is a -1. So you already know. So you're going to subtract 1 from the dice. Then you add this to the adjustment -2. So it's a -3. And then you go ahead, and then after that, you check the dice roll that they have the D20 that was rolled. We didn't have to use this. We can use it. This is a 4. Okay? This is a 4. The rule is anything equal to or less than the runner on base is a throw to first. Anything between the runner on base to the double play rating of the batter is a fielder's choice. Anything higher than the double play rating or the double play rating or higher is a double play. So we rolled a 4. So we subtract -1 from Eric Shao and -2 from the pitcher. We're subtracting 3 from the dice roll. Okay, that's a 4. We subtract 3, that becomes a 1. Since the 1 is lower than Sandberg, but does not get into Gary Matthews' double play rating of 12 plus, this is going to be a throw to first. The only play Shao had was the throw to first to get Matthews because Sandberg's going to have speed to get there. And that's going to be out. That is going to be out number 2, but Sandberg gets the second. It may sound a little confusing. After a few times, you're going to get right down. You don't even have to roll. As you see, I didn't even have to roll for the double play. If you don't use the D20, and if you want to re-roll the D20, that's fine. You can do so if you want. It's designed to be more streamlined than regular inside pitch. So that was not a double play, since it was Shao's double play is a -1. And, of course, Sandberg's rating is a 7. Now, of course, with 2 outs, his rating would have been an 8, and it would have because he would have went on contact. But there are now 2 outs, and now the first baseman, Durham. So that goes as a ground out to the pitcher, and Shao took it, saw Sandberg got a great lead, couldn't do anything with it, threw to first to make sure we got the out. Durham is the next batter. Now let's see what happens here. So I'll still roll the strat, see if Durham does anything, and no. Remember, pickoffs are now yes, pivot effects have been removed. There are no pivot effects. They have been taken out. Pivot effects have been taken out. It all depends now where the ball was hit to. All right, no pivot effects. He removed the pivot. He removed the pivot effects. So you don't have to worry about adding pivot. It all depends on where it was hit to now. So we kind of streamlined it that way, and it still works. I think it works actually even easier. So, yeah, no more pivot rules. No more pivot. So Shao will pitch, and that is an 8-1. That's an EG, error on a grounder. We'll go check Durham. Durham is a 3-1, and now we have what is called the new runners in scoring position rule. This is now a RISP rule. This is N/8 on his card, N/8. This is the new runners in scoring position rule. It is possible that depending on how good the pitcher is on the mound, with runners in scoring position or runners in not scoring position, he could take a hit away from the batter. Since there are runners in now the N means if there are no runners in scoring position. Sandberg is in scoring position. Since the N is here, that is ignored, and we just go ahead and take the base. We just take the result, which is going to be an S8. This is going to be a single. This is going to be a single to center field instead. If this was an R, you would see what we would do here with runners that are not in scoring position, but we'll get to that if that does occur. So since there are runners in scoring position, the N is ignored. That's just going to be a base hit to center field. We still have to see there is a base hit to center field. Now, is there an error on a grounder on hits to the outfield? The answer is no. There are no longer errors on a grounders when balls are hit to left, center, or right. You have error on a booted ball. Okay, errors on booted balls. if hit to the outfield, but no error on the grounders anymore when hit to center field. So that's removed. So we're just going to, but now we get to see the new base running chart in stock and set. So it's a single to center. How did he streamline the base running? Even easier than you think. So it's a base run, it's a single to center field. Ryan Sandberg with 2 outs would be an 8. So we go ahead and check, and we go ahead and go to this chart because he's at second base. So we go ahead, and all we have to do is roll. I use the blue D20 for the top. The powder blue will be the side. And this is how you decide if a runner moves up. That is a 3-8. And now we go to there. It says 3. So we go base running rating, which is a 3, and we check 8. 8 is P, 2 out, and assist. Now you check here, a play with 2 out, all right? Otherwise advanced. There are 2 outs. So there's going to be a play at the plate. So now we go straight to this chart, the plate chart, and we use the D20 that was already rolled. It's a 10. Now you check to see this list here to see what will happen at the plate. Now outfielders now have an assist rating. They have an arm rating and an assist rating. Center fielder for the Padres is Kevin McReynolds. Range of 4, error rating of 4. His arm rating is a 4, but he has a C assist rating. This is their ability to throw runners out if a play has to be made. So now we check the play chart. That is a 10. And we go right to its assist rating. And it's a C. And on the D20, it says 3 to 14, he is out. 15 to 20, he is safe. Well, that's a 10. And K-Mac just threw Ryan Sandberg out at the plate. And the inning is over. Just like that. No more calculations. Oh, he's a +1, he's a +2, he's a +3. No more calculations like that. The only thing you have to add, of course, all right, is the +1 when there are 2 outs. Even though Sandberg was a +1 with 2 outs, we still rolled a 3-8 here, which means play with 2 out because there were 2 outs. So that's why we did that. If there was not 2 outs, it would automatically be an advancement and Ryan Sandberg would have scored. But because there were 2 outs, he made a play. Sandberg is gone at the plate and the inning is over. But Durham does get credit for the hit. That's a base hit for Durham, but Sandberg is cut down to the plate. No runs and a hit and a walk for the Cubs. 1-0 Padres. I don't know about you, but that really streamlines it. The outfield and where the ball was hit to, it can be a difference on that. In this case, it was where the ball was hit to and such. Beatles Eternally joins us here. Let's see. Beatles Eternally, you just got to let it be sometimes. That counts. So now we go to the top of the second. And Beatles, this is Inside Pitch Advanced. This is a new game by Chris Davis, of course, the creator of Inside Pitch. This is just a second demo. This is just the second demo. The arm rating is used for things like an S+, all right, like a single, trying to stretch a single into a double. You'll see how that works too, possibly, Kakarats. The arm rating is used for that reason. The arm rating is the ability to hold runners, okay? Is the ability to hold runners. For instance, let's say his arm rating, McReynolds' arm rating is a 4. Let's say we come to arm here, 5 instead of an 8-3. Let's say this was a 5. Let's say this was a 5-4. Okay, a 5-4 would have been hold 4 to 7. So since McReynolds has an arm rating of 4, okay, Sandberg would have held at third, and that would have been it. This is where the hold rating comes in. Also, hold rating is also used. The arm rating is used for S+, for S+ as well. And you'll see that in action if we get there. This is advanced there, Beatles Eternally. Okay, this is the same game, but with some new software, he created an even better game of Inside Pitch. So sit back and watch the show. This is a demo game, but I'm not going as deep in this demo as I did in the first one. If you really want to see what this game, the differences between this game and the other inside pitches, check out my first demo, which was a game between 78 Kansas City and the Yankees, but that was a very long video. I don't want this video to be that long since I still have to play a 99 game tonight. Top of the second, and leading off is going to be K-Mac. He's in center field. But here you have a chance to rob home runs. The pitcher can affect range plays. The pitcher can affect home runs with runners on or runners not on. There are no more cookie cutter cards. Every batter is addressed, at least that I found. But I think maybe his plate appearance, the at bats may be different. Okay, and also, Chris added a nice little nuance. He added a nice little nuance to the cards. Here's Kevin McReynolds' card. This I didn't notice until I looked. If you look at Kevin McReynolds' cards, this is his rating here. How many plate appearances he had. But you'll notice these little, in parentheses, 3 and 3. These are the times he pinch hit against that type of pitcher. So if you're wondering who to bring in to pinch hit in case you want to bring in a pinch hitter, whether, of course, it's for the pitcher in a National League game, or a batter that just doesn't hit very well. Here he tells you that Kevin McReynolds pinch hit 3 times against lefties and 3 times against righties in 1984. I did not notice that until I took a close look at the card. That is a very nice little piece of information that you could use when choosing a pinch hitter if you're playing the game solitaire. So here's Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe, 5'6", and that's a walk, and the 2 is going to be ball 4. He will walk McReynolds. So McReynolds will draw the walk. Remember, Wrigley Field does add 1 to walks, but doesn't adjust anything else. So we'll walk for McReynolds, and Sutcliffe had 82 of them that year. Here's Carmelo Martinez. Infield you don't have to really set up for double play depth, but sometimes I like to do it just to go ahead and there. How many times we involve the double switch? I should just give you the block dragon for that, Davo9. Matter of fact, since Davo9 wants to bring up the evil D word, okay, I think he deserves that. So there you go. There's your block dragon. Congratulations, you've earned a block dragon. McReynolds on it first. We'll still do a strategy roll, and that is a 16. Nothing happening. Sutcliffe, a 7-5, and that's a range play at the park. This is an automatic range play. It doesn't fall on any of his range play number cards. So it's a range play at the park. Wrigley Field, 5-4, and 5-4. Now on 5-4, okay, here you can see it has an upside down triangle, and it says G4. This is if the infield, if that player was in, this would be a base hit. This is if that player was in, not the whole infield. You can bring in certain players and leave back certain players. If this is hit to second base. If the second baseman was in, this is an automatic hit. That's a base hit past second instead. So you don't have to worry about seeing if a base hit is hit if a runner is in. But instead, he is not in. We have a double play depth. So that's just a grounder. That's a 5-4, and that's just a grounder to second. We check to see the double play. So once again, let's see. Sutcliffe has a +1 to double plays on his card. All right. And it's hit to second base. Second base's adjustment is +1 here. Is +1. So now we go ahead and we check the D20. Okay, so it's a +1 to the pitcher and a +1 hit to second. So only +2. All right, so only +2. So that 7 becomes a 9 on the D20. We check Carmelo Martinez. His double play rating is a 14+. Since it doesn't reach that, we check McReynolds' rating. It's a 3. The 9 is higher than the 3. That's going to be a fielder's choice instead. So Martinez gets the first, and McReynolds is out. This is just a defensive ratings card that he's going to put now with the team to make it, for those of you that don't really like to utilize scorecards, like, I don't know why you wouldn't, but all this is just the rating of all the defensive players, most of them, I should say, okay, for that team for that certain year. There are players going to be missing, like traded players and things like that, but that's all that is. I don't need it because I write everything on my score sheet. So that's going to be a fielder's choice, and that's going to be one out. The next batter is Templeton. Is going to be Gary Templeton. He's at shortstop. As far as people that were kind of like concerned about, same players, traded players, he is working on something that can worry about the traded players. If a player, what he may do is if a player's been traded at one point during the year and the stats really didn't mean that much, all he'll probably do is create a second card with the same stats, but in the colors of the other traded team. That might be that could probably be in the fringe player downloads. But if that player did have a difference in stats with the other team when he was traded, he will probably create a second player card in that color just for that player's team stats. I wonder if you guys understood that. I hope you did, because I tried to mount that. He's still working on that idea. I told him, I said, forget about the stats. Just create the same player card with the same stats, just in different colors. All right. I don't think really anybody really cares. I mean, yeah, some people may, for real serious replayers, but I know that some people out there would just love to see the same play, like Tom Seaver in a 1977 Mets card and a 1977 Reds card. I don't think they really would care about the stats. They would just like to see the colors right. There are some teams that do that. There are some games that do that, but I don't think it would mind. So here's Templeton. Let's see what he does. And strategy roll, that's a 10, nothing happening. Sutcliffe, 8-8, strikeout, 5. And against a righty, yep, he'll get him, struck him out. And that's going to be the first strikeout for Sutcliffe. He had 213 of them, and that is out number 2. Now something new for Inside Pitch Advanced. No more pitcher batting cards. Now you're using pitcher hit cards. There may be some pitchers that he may create a batting card depending on how well they did during the season. For instance, maybe Shohei Ohtani, of course, is going to have one for like 2023. All right. Don Drysdale, maybe in his year when he batted over 300, possibly. But now all pitchers in the National League or American League will now have their own pitcher hit cards. Eric Shao actually was a pretty good hitter in 1984. Okay, so now what you do is you check this section here to see how well he will do. It's possible he could strike out before you even get to the card because he has what is called a strikeout rating. All right, if a normal result comes off the pitcher card. So exactly there, Captain Carl. So now you have a pitcher hitting card depending on how well they hit. And I've already pretty much checked the averages of each card. And for right now, for Sutcliffe and for Eric Shao, he seems to have this right. So here on Eric Shao's card, bats right. Card number 7, which is what he uses. He has 9 total hit cards for each pitcher. And what his chances of striking out before we even get to the card? What his sacrifice hit chance would be to try to bunt one over. Okay. And of course his bunt and his bunt rating. So now with 2 outs, I'm just going to go ahead with 2 outs and a runner on. He's not bunting, but I still roll it. And I'm not going to roll a strat here with 2 outs because it's not going to matter here. So Sutcliffe, we roll a Sutcliffe's card, and that is a 1-2. A 1-2 is an error on a throw. Now, since this is something that's a possible error, we don't go to Shao's card because tonight to see if he strikes out automatically here because there's going to be a play. There has to be a play, an error on a throw. So it's possible there may be a play. So it's a possible error on a throw. So we'll go ahead and check the pitcher hit card. So now we check here. We roll on here. And that's a 6-1. And a 6-1, believe it or not, Eric Shao does get a base hit. That's a single to center field. On this card, a 6-1 is an S8. It's a base hit to center field, but there is a possible throwing error. May have a throwing error. Center fielder for the Cubs is Bob Dernier. His error rating is a 6. That's a 7. He will not make a throwing error. So now we're just going to use the basic chart. We know there's not going to be a throwing error. So now we'll do the basic chart advancement for Carmelo Martinez with 2 outs. His base running rating becomes a 4 with 2 outs. We're going first to third. And that is an 8-3. An 8-3 is a play. So now it's an automatic play first to third. So now we go back to this one again. Okay. And so this was hit to center field. Center fielder for the Cubs is Bob Dernier. Bob Dernier's center field assist rating is a D. So now since I rolled, now we check the D20. It's a 16. The 16 with a D on it says 3 to 11 out. 12 to 20 is safe. 12 to 20 is safe. And you also check to see if the trailing runner advances an extra base here. So a 3-11 is an out. A 12 to 20 is a safe. We know Carmelo makes third on that one. But now we check to see if Eric Schau can take second base on the throw. So you check the white die. The white die that was rolled. The white die is a 3. Eric Schau's run rating here is a 3, which means if it's greater than or equal to the white die, he advances to second base. He turns that into a double. See how quick that is? So Eric Schau gets a base hit and turns that into a double. And Martinez goes to third. And as usual, the pitcher says, DH? I don't need no stinking DH. So now the batter is Wiggins with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Now let's see now you can see how those charts work. So now runners at second and third, and let's roll the strat just to make sure the infield is back. There are 2 outs. Nothing happening. Sutcliffe, 7-5. Range play at the park. Wrigley Field, 5-7, and that's going to be 5-7 is a double star 8, and that is a fly ball to center field. It's a range play this time for Bob Dernier. His range is a 4, and he's not going to get it. That's going to be a base hit to center field. And now what you do, since it's a range play on a fly ball, on a fly out to center field, now only on hits that are hit to the outfield and past third or first, you check the pitcher's range play double chance. This is only checked if it's a range play to set to left, center, right, or past third or fifth. This is supposed to go ahead and try to simulate a base runner's kind of like, a base runner's maybe tendency to maybe hold, think the ball is going to be caught or anything like that. Now, of course, even with 2 outs, they'd be on contact, but still you roll. So now a 1 to 10 on Sutcliffe's card, that would be a double. Anything higher would be a single. So we re-roll the D20. That's going to be a 9. That's going to be a double for Wiggins, and 2 runs are going to come in. So Wiggins is going to get an RBI double since Dernier couldn't make the play. And actually, my bad, I actually made a slight error. On range, on range plays, actually, to the outfield, it's also already 2 bases. It's 1 base for a single and 2 bases for a double with 1 out. 2 bases for a single, 3 bases for a double with 2 out. That's another reason why that works. So now and for those of you that have played this game, if it is a range play to the outfield and there's less than 1 out, he makes the catch. It's only a 1 base advance for a single or a double because the runner is trying to see if the ball is going to be caught and may head back to first. That's that simulation right there where it says, the ball's going to be caught. I may have to hold. But he doesn't make the play, and there's only 1 out. You got to stay close to the bag. So it's only a 1 base advance now on range plays. All right, for singles, 2 bases for doubles with 0 or 1 out, and 2 outs. It's automatic at 2 bases or 3. There were 2 outs, so it wouldn't have mattered here. But you still roll to see if that would have been a double or a single. Still would have both runs in anyway. So now the Padres have a 3-0 lead on Sutcliffe as 2 runs come in. And here's Gwynn. So Gwynn got a base hit his first time up. So let's see what happens. Wiggins, he will stay put. Actually, Gwynn got the hit and run, but you don't do hit and runs with 2 outs. Sutcliffe, 7-2, strikeout. No, Gwynn doesn't strike out much. Gwynn, 7-6, and that is an S4. That's just a base hit. Past second, Wiggins has got plenty of speed. He will come around. He will score. And another run for the Padres. It's now 4-0. Another RBI for Gwynn, as because Wiggins has a 7-run rating, and with 2 outs, his run rating becomes an 8. And to get from second to home on a base hit past second base, it really doesn't matter. Pretty much an 8 get everybody moving. So I hope that will help you there. So now 4-0 Padres, and here's Garvey. We're only in the second. So all of this happening with 2 outs. Strategy rolls are still active. Nothing happening on the 13. Sutcliffe, 1-4. That is a double question mark. We did not have this in the last demo game. We now go to here. This, of course, is the usual double question mark that you get for the pitchers. This is EDO. This means error on a drop ball. If a roll of a 1 comes up, all right, it's automatically going to be a dropped throw, a drop reception, a drop ball. No matter what the error rating is of the player, he is going to drop the ball if a throw needs to be made. A 2-4 would be here would be a single past a certain number, which you would use the D20 for, okay, or a possible home run chance, just like the regular home run chance you had on the rain cards. So let's see. So this is what comes up. We go to here and we check the D20. Garvey's a righty. Garvey is a righty. Okay. So against a righty, we go down here as a 5. That is a possible home run for Garvey. This is not an automatic. You still have to roll to see if the batter hits a home run. So it's 3-9. So that's a 5. It's a possible home run. Sutcliffe put the ball right over the plate. Now Garvey against the righty is a 7. Now Sutcliffe with runners on base. Now we check Sutcliffe's runners on base here if we want to. This is optional. You don't have to use this, but I like it. If the bases are empty, you subtract 1 from the home run rating from the batter. Or if there's runners on base, you add 2. This is to simulate a pitcher's kind of nervousness if there's runners on base or pitching from the stretch. So in this case here, Garvey is a 7, and there are runners on base, so we add 2. So it's +2. It's a 9. Well, XSG2, I know it's taking me. We got to realize this is something. I'm teaching you guys this. I could have easily said, okay, it's a 7. Let's see. Okay, it's a 5. All right, possible home run. Garvey, 7 + 2 is 9, and he got it, and that's it. Boom, done. XSG2. It's not a lot to check. By the way, that's a home run. Two-run bomb for Garvey off of Sutcliffe. It's now 6-0. Anything higher, it wouldn't have been a home run. It would have been a blank, and I roll off of Garvey's card. Every game has a learning curve. I agree with PC Sports Cards. Every game has a learning curve. Did anybody here know how to play Stratomatic when you first took it out the box? I rest my case. Anybody know how to play APA when it first came out the box? No, this isn't going to be longer, Davo9, because I'm just trying to go ahead. I want to play the game out, but some of the new stuff that you didn't see in the first demo, I'm showing. That was something we didn't have in the first demo. But it's now 6-0 already, and now the batter is Nettles. So, no, if anybody here knew how to play Stratomatic as soon as they got it out of the box, please tell me, because I certainly didn't. That took a while for me to learn. Even the basic version took me a while to learn. Sutcliffe, 8-3, strikeout 13, and nope, that's going to be too high. Nettles, 5-8, and that's a fly out to center field, and the inning is over. 5 runs on 4 hits, a 2-run bomb by Garvey, and a walk. 6-0, bottom of the second. Did anybody know how to play Stratomatic when it first came out of the box? Anyone knew how to play Appo when it first came out of the box? Anybody know how to play Fall Classic when it came out of the box? Come on, people. Every game has a learning curve. Play with it. Learn it. If you're really not interested, I understand that. But you got to give it a chance. Bottom of the second, Keith Moreland leading off for the Cubs. He's in right field for this game. Trust me, I don't want this video to go too long because I still got to play inside pitch tonight. Shao, 4-5, error on a booted ball. All right, it's an error on a possible booted ball. Now, a booted ball means a base runner doesn't automatically get 1 base; he could get 2. Shao, Moreland, 1-6, and nope, that's going to be a fly to right, so it's not going to be a booted ball, and that's going to be out number 1. Next up is Say, the Penguin, third base. Shao, 4-8 against a righty. It's an automatic out, and you don't even have to re-roll for the automatic out because here's a 3, and you'll just check the top here, and the 3 falls into this category where here's a 4, automatic out, so to fly to center field and done. Don't even have to roll the dice again. Inside pitcher would have had to re-roll a die to find out what the out was. And this one I don't have to. Here's the catcher, Jody Davis. Shao, 6-5 against a righty. It's an automatic out. That's a 20. We go right to the top here of the chart. And I'll show you here because you got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you also have 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20. For something like that, just use your 20 roll. And that's it. Fly out to center. And 1, 2, 3, go the Cubs. What calculations did I have to make? None. It's inside pitch with a little bit extra flair. Actually, a lot of extra flair. Top of the third. I'll keep Sutcliffe out there. His pull rating is 14. I'll keep him out there for another at bat. It's exhibition game. Actually, not Sutcliffe, there's shot. Larry Boa, the shortstop, is the batter. Okay, that's a nice bit. So Larry Boa is the shortstop for the Cubs in this game. Shao is a 1-5. Walk, the 19 is going to be too high. Boa, an 8-2, and against a righty, it's just a split chance. Single against lefty, ground out against righty. Shao's a righty, and that's a ground out. Ground out to second, 1 down. We're going to let Sutcliffe bat. He has pitcher hitting card number 7 as well. But he didn't strike out much as often as he did, so this is actually a blank, which means there's no chance of him striking out off the pitcher card automatically, I should say. Okay? Well, it can't happen. A strikeout rating is a 19, but no automatic without checking that. Shao is an 8-4. 8-4 is an error on a booted ball. Pitcher hit card, 6-3, and that's going to be a base hit for Sutcliffe. He singles one into right field. That's a base hit. Right fielder for the Padres is Gwynn. His error rating is a 5. That's a 20. He's not going to boot it, and that's going to be a base hit for Sutcliffe. So Sutcliffe says, DH? I also don't need no stinking DH. So Sutcliffe gets on base. Here's Dernier. 6-0 Padres already in this one. Strategy rolls, I still roll. Just for the heck of it. Nothing happening there. Dernier actually got the 11-14 on a hit and run. But you're down 6 runs. You're not hitting running. Dernier actually has an 11-14 hit and run possibility here. So he was used a lot in hit and run, pretty good in hit and runs. But you're down 6 runs. You're not going to hit and run. You need base runners. So you can just like the regular inside pitch, you can call off the strategy. Shao, 4-1, strikeout 9, and that is going to just miss. Dernier, 6-1, and it's popped out to third base. Pops out to third. Nettles makes the catch. 2 down. And now Sandberg. Sandberg walked his first time up. Strategy roll. So I may need to zoom in slightly. If I do, I'm going to lose the stream. So unfortunately, I can't at this time. I was thinking of doing it, but I would not have had enough room for the dice rolls. So remember, guys, you can go ahead. Remember, you have the ability to zoom. I believe YouTube has the ability to zoom on your screens. You should have the ability to zoom. Usually, the YouTube browser allows you to do it. No strategy roll. Shao, 8-2, strikeout 11, and nope, that's gonna miss. Sandberg, a 3-1, and that's a power. That is a double start. That's a double start number 7. That's a fly out the left, and the inning is over. So, no runs and a hit for the So no runs and a hit for the Cubs. And after 3, it's still 6-0 Padres. We go to the 4th. And Sutcliffe back on the mound. Also, now another rule is on range plays. Range play rolls of 8 are successful for the home team. Whether it's off the ballpark card or any card, range play, if you roll an 8 on a range play, it's an automatic, and if they are home, it's an automatic play. All right? That gives he wanted to give the home team a little bit of an advantage. That's actually a pretty good advantage to have. Terry Kennedy is going to lead off for the Padres. He's 0 for 1. And now 6-0 here, top of the 4th. Sutcliffe will go ahead and deal. We'll stay on the mound. 2-7. That's an error on a foul out or a grounder at the park. This is a new one here. EFG Act. It's either an error on a foul ball or a grounder at the park. Okay, so now we go to Wrigley Field. And it is a 5-2. And a 5-2 is an S9. That's going to be a base hit to right field. But remember, there are no grounder errors on hits to the outfield. So Kennedy is going to have a single. No errors. No error there. Next batter is McReynolds. Infield set for double play. 6-0 Padres are already eating up Sutcliffe here. Strategy rolls are still active. Nothing on the 8. Kennedy at first. Sutcliffe. 7-6. Strikeout. It would be a possible home run if he was tired, but he's not. That's a possible strikeout. Possible strikeout. Against a righty, McReynolds has a 9. That's a 10, and he just missed it. McReynolds will swing for 8, and that's going to be a fly out the left. 1 out. Next batter is Martinez. He scored on a fielder's choice. Strategy roll. Nothing on the 17. Kennedy will go ahead and Sutcliffe will pitch. Let's see. 2-7. Again, error on a foul ball or a grounder at the park. Wrigley Field, 4-5. And now this, okay, is an H9. This is a home run to right field. This is a possible home run to right field. But you got to go home run to right field, but you got to see, of course, if he still makes it. So it's a possible home run to right field. Carmelo Martinez. Now, of course, as I said, it's SG2, wondering about calculations. Okay. Home run to right field. Martinez against the righty is a 17. Sutcliffe +2 is a 19 with errors on base. That's a 12. It's gone. Goodbye. Done. Calculation made. Home run for Carmelo Martinez. As he belts one over right field, and it is now 8-0 in favor of the Padres. So Rick Sutcliffe definitely doesn't have it here tonight. The reason why you still have, the H, you still have an H and the 9. This could have been a range play. So if the home run was not made, you got to see who's going to make the range play. So that's why you still have the fielding where it was hit to. But that is a home run by Martinez, and the Padres are all over the Cubs 8-0, and that's it for Sutcliffe. Just like that. Sutcliffe didn't even get out of the 4th inning. So the next batter is Templeton, and we'll see a new pitcher for the Cubs. And let's see, since this was done, since he's a starter and he didn't get out the 5th, I'm going to go ahead and bring in, even though he didn't have a relief appearances, Trout did. So let's bring in Trout. I'm going to bring in Steve Trout. Steve Trout only had 1 relief appearance, but he's going to come in because the pitcher got shelled, and he could pitch to 6 batters. And Steve Trout is going to come in to pitch for the Cubs. Why not? Yep, that's no way to treat the National League Cy Young Award. Well, that's what you got here. Remember, this is the 1984 Padres. This team did make the World Series in '84. This was a pretty darn good team. So Templeton is the next batter. And let's see if I can go ahead and play a little faster here, my normal speed if possible. So now Steve Trout will pitch to Templeton. Now we're going against the lefty. Trout. 4, and of course, strategy rolls are off. 4-3 error on a boot. Templeton, 2-6, and that's a grounder to second base. And that ball is hit to Sandberg. His error rating is a 2. That's a twin. That's a 10. He won't make an error. He'll throw to first, and that's out number 2. And Eric Shao is going to come on to bat again. Why not? He's got an 8-0 lead. Uses pitcher hitting card number 7. Trout, a 6-8. And that is, again, an error on a booted ball. Shao, a 1-2, and that's a base hit. That's a base hit past third. That is a single past third for Shao. So he gets his second hit. But an error on a booted ball does not occur here on an S range here on an error on a booted ball. So that just goes as a single past third, and Shao has his second hit of the game. So Trout gets his second hit, and once again says DH. I don't need no stinking DH. So the Padres are killing the Cubs. Here's Wiggins. Much different. This is a much different game. It's a much different game than the first demo game we played, right? Of course, we had two excellent pitchers in Guidry and in Leonard. Here we have Shao, and we had Sutcliffe. Strategy rolls are now off. Trout, 5-3, and that's a single. That's going to be a base hit past Trout. Now it says a single and the number sign. So where do you find out where it was hit to? Check the D20. That is a 20, and you check here. It says G6, and that's going to be a single pass short right off of Trout's card. Shao has a base running speed of 4 with 2 outs, and a single pass second. We go check the chart. Pass short, single pass short. He would have to be a 7+ in order to get to third. He's only a 4, so he will hold at second base. That's a base hit for Wiggins. Yes, the inning difference is still in effect for the strategy roll check. Anything 7 or higher, no strategy roll is needed. You can still use it. There are some people that still want to use it, and that's fine. You can if you want to. Most everything in this game is optional for you to play. Here's Gwynn. Right now, the Padres are serving the Cubs for dinner here. We're only at the top of the 4th here. As right now, it looks like I'm getting a blowout. Trout, 1-5, strikeout 20. No. Gwynn, a 7-7, and that's a G6. It's a grounder to short, and the inning is over. So 2 runs on 3 hits, a 2-run bomb by Carmelo Martinez. It's 8-0 going in the bottom of the 4th. I like these cards. I think they look even more with a lot more information on them. Some people say they might look a little too busy. I don't think so. I think these cards are for what he wanted to do. I don't think he could do these cards any better than they are. To keep them small enough to put them on the board. I mean, the thing about like for instance, like on deck baseball. On deck baseball is an awesome game system. The cards are too big. I can't put them on the board. Season ticket baseball is an awesome system. The cards are too big. I can't put them on the board, at least in my opinion. These cards are perfect. I can still use this board with these cards. Gary Matthews leads off for the Cubs. He's 0 for 1. Let's see what happens here. Shao, a 6-4, and that's a range play at the park. Wrigley Field, 5-4, and that is a G4. That's a grounder to second base. That's it to Wiggins. His range is a 5. That's a 4. He'll get it and make the play, 1 out. Ground out to second base as Wiggins makes the call. Here's Durham. Are the same size now as Strat cards? No, Strat cards are still bigger. Strat cards are a little larger, maybe another 50% bigger. And yes, they are working on the PC game. He should be getting that ready at the same time he releases the main cards and dice. Bill Salm, who is the creator of the PC game that works with Chris Davis, is working on that. Would not be surprised that both are out, and I will also get the PC game as well because I use that as practice, so I don't have to pull out the cards. I can use that as practice on the line, for the main games when I do cards and dice. Here's Durham. Shao, 2-4, wild pitch. It's a blank. There's nobody on base. Durham, 7-4, and that's a double star 3. And that's an automatic out. It's a grounder to third. 2 outs. Now Moreland. Moreland is 0 for 1. Shao will go ahead and deal. Shao, 7-4, and against a righty, strikeout. The 15 is going to be too high. Moreland, a 6-4, and that is a double to left. Moreland hits a straight double to left field. And the Cubs have a man on. Here's the Penguin. Strategy rolls are off. It's an 8-0 lead from the Padres. Shao, 5-6, and that against a righty, strikeout. The 3 is good. Swing and a miss, struck him out. He gets say, and the inning is over. That is the first strikeout for Shao. He had 104 of them that year, so no runs and a hit. Still 8-0 in favor of the Friars. You're sorry about the other day. You just got to worry about the change how you do your own. No, you don't have to change. He doesn't have 2008 out yet, Scooney. Just keep on using regular inside pitch. Inside pitch is not going anywhere. He is still going to make seasons for it. He's going to finish 2003 and 2006, which are the only 2 seasons left that he has in the holes, that he has left in his inventory. So you have a complete 56 to 2024 inventory for him. And he's going to do seasons from 1955 and backwards now for that. But he is going to do inside pitch advanced. And I told this to him after I played a couple of games of inside pitch advanced. I'm going to find it very difficult to go back to inside pitch. I'm still going to keep all my inside pitch stuff, yes, because he doesn't, but he says he could create a season for me in a week or a couple of weeks or so. All right. If that's true, then when my selection show comes up this in October, as we're about to end the 99 season, whatever season comes up, if it's not available in inside pitch advanced, he can make that season for me, and I will be doing that, an inside pitch advanced season starting January 5th of 2026. Meanwhile, we go to the top of the 5th. Tony Gwynn leads off for the Friars. And he is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. I don't know if the game is going to be more expensive, but remember, guys, you know what's going on what's going on out there. So everything comes with a price. I don't know what it is. I said, don't ask me about discounts or anything. I have no idea what he's going to do. Remember, he's a one-man show. He has his own printer. Gets his own card stock. I can't answer for him on that. Trout, 2-4. Now here Trout. I'll show you this. This is RP 13, range play 13. So it's possible a pitcher may not have to rely. Some pitchers did not have to worry about their defense much. So on a range play 13, if the D20 is higher than 13, there's no range play. That's a 17. So there's not going to be a range play. We go right to Quinn's card. And it's a 6-5, and a 6-5 is going to be an automatic out. It's going to be a ground out to third. And out number 1. So no range play because it was higher than the 13. Here's Garvey. Garvey is 2 for 2, a single and a bomb. One thing about D8s, I think they roll better than D6s. D8, Trout, 4-7, strikeout, 14 is high. Garvey, 8-2, and that's a single. He hits that one pass into left field, and the Padres get a man on. Garvey's third hit of the game. Garvey batted .284 in 84. He was pretty darn good. Here's Nettles. And now remember the station to station. So one of the rules he likes to follow is if you have a 6-run more lead, you don't have to use the runner advance chart. Okay. All right. If for the strategy rolls. So for hits. So if you have 6 more runs, if it's a single, Garvey goes to second, Nettles to first, and that's it. That's his idea to slow down the game a bit, or, for the unwritten rules of baseball, I guess. If you still want to use the base running chart, which I use if the team that gets a hit is ahead. The team that's behind, I don't, unless a player has a chance to score. Strategy roll. Oh, no need for strategy roll. 3-8 Trout. That's a walk. The 20 is high. Against the righty, Nettles is a 15. +1 is a 16, but still no walk. Nettles, 8-4. And now we come to the other member of runners, possible runners in scoring position. R with a double starred 2. If there were runners in scoring position, okay, Trout could turn this out into a hit. Okay, which means his ability to give up runners when runners are on, his ability to give up runs when runners on. There are no runners in scoring position, so that R is ignored. We just follow the route. We just follow the actual result, and that is a double starred 2, and that's a ground out to second. So it's a possible double play. So let's see. So we once again check it. So it's a grounder to second, double play second base +1. Trout adds 2 to that, so it's a 3. That's a 15. We add 3 to the 15, which makes it an 18. And Greg Nettles has, on his double play rating, is a 12 plus. Since it's 12 or higher, that's a double play and the inning is over. 6-4-3 double play, no runs and a hit. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. You are not adjusting the card. You're adjusting the die roll that you roll. If you did use the D20, you should re-roll it. If you didn't, that's fine. And if you still want to re-roll the D20, go right ahead. It's up to you how you want to utilize the D20 in these games. Bottom of the 5th, and Jody Davis will lead off. Shao will stay on the board. Trout is tired, by the way. Shao will go ahead and deal with Davis. Davis is 0 for 1. Shao, 7-6. Home run result. Now, Davis against a righty is an 18. Shao has no adjustments with runners on base or empty. So it's a straight 18. That's a 6, and it's gone. Home run, Jody Davis. And the Cubs are on the board. Now, what if that 6 was a 1? There is a possible way, okay? There's a way to get to rob a home run. What if that 6 was a 1? Because the new rules, it's optional. You don't have to use it, but it's a possible way to rob a home run. So if home run on a 1, possible robbed home run, roll D8 to get fielder if field wasn't already designated. Well, this one came off the pitcher card, so we don't know where this would have gone. So we would have had to roll a D8. Okay. If a D8 roll fell within left field, 1 to 3 left field or 6 to 8 right field, the height of the wall is too high. There's no way to rob a home run. But if it was in center field, there would have been a chance, but you would have subtract -6 to the range of the fielder going to the center fielder. Of course, if the range puts him under his range, like if he's a 2 and it's a -6, there's no way he can rob the home run, and it's gone. That is another nuance he put in the game, which, of course, inside pitch doesn't have, and that is a good, nice nuance. So there is a possibility to rob home runs in this game. Now, of course, if you're playing in Fenway Park, no, you're not jumping 20 feet in the air over the green monster. It's not happening. But Jody Davis does get a home run, and the Cubs are now on the board. It's 8-1. Here's Boa. Boa's 0 for 1. Shao will pitch. Shao is 6-2, and that's an error on a fly or grounder at the park. Wrigley Field, 6-8, and that's going to be a fly ball to right. That's going to be a fly out to right. Now, it's not an error on a fly ball. It's an error on a foul ball. So if the ball is hit into foul territory, which could happen, although Wrigley Field's foul territory is very small, all right, there would have been a chance for a drop ball on an error. But that was a fly ball, not a foul out. So it's no error check. So it's a fly to right, and that's out number 1. New batter coming up for Trout. Trout is not going to use the batting card. He uses a different batting card, though. He uses batting card number 4, but we're not going to use it. We're going to put the batting cards away, and we're going to bring in a pinch hitter for the Cubs. Now, here is what I liked about the pinch hit. Shao is a righty. So remember I told you guys that the new nuance, it tells you how they pinch hit here with that 0. So let's look at all here and see who batted much against righties. It's just a nice nuance. So even though Shao is a righty, okay, I take a look at here, and Jake Johnstone pinch hit 41 times against right-handed pitching. Thad Bosley 31 times against right-handed pitching, and he's a lefty. So let's choose. Let's see. Richie Hebner batted 28 times against righties as a pinch hitter, and he's a lefty. But he only had 81 at bats. So I'm going to use Thad Bosley. Since he's a lefty, I'm going to have Thad Bosley pinch hit. That is a nice little touch that I did not notice when I looked at the cards. So Thad Bosley is going to pinch hit for the pitcher. He's a lefty, and it has the most at bats against right-handed pitching here. So Thad Bosley will go ahead and pinch hit against Shao. 1-2, and against the lefty, that's a blank. Shao against the righty, that would have been an automatic out. Bosley, a 5-5, and that is an IS6. That is a small IS6. That is an infield single. That's an automatic infield single. You don't have to roll now to see if it's a regular single or an infield single. Infield singles, runners advance one base no matter what, even with 2 out. So bringing in Thad. So even though I'm doing a demo game, you just don't see managing like this on that other channel with the fluffy cat. So here's Dernier now. Bosley on it first. He gets an infield single. Dernier is 0 for 2. 8-1 Padres. They killed the Cubs in this one, didn't they? No strategy roll. Shao, 3-8. Strikeout 4, got him. It's a KHR, but he's not tired. He'll strike out Dernier. And that is going to be the second strikeout for Shao. 2 down. And now Sandberg, may he rest in peace. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. 2 outs. Shao will pitch. Shao, 5-6, and against a righty, strikeout 3, got him. Swing and a miss, struck him out. He got Sandberg, and he gets out of it. Third strikeout for him. So 1 run on 2 hits, a solo bomb by Jody Davis. And it's now 8-1 after 5. Terry Kennedy leads off for the Padres. He is 1 for 2 with a single. We got a lefty and 2 righties coming up. So let's see who the Cubs want to bring on to pitch. And I'm going to go ahead and bring out, we're in the 6th inning now. So in the 6th inning. So who am I going to bring on to pitch? I could think of probably, let's see here. Coming on to pitch for the Cubs, I'm going to bring out Tim Stoddard. 10 wins, 6 losses, 7 saves. And he can pitch to 7 batters. So Tim Stoddard will come on to pitch for the Cubs. And we'll go up against first with Terry Kennedy. So we'll do, one thing I do like about these cards, I like the larger name. Makes it a little bit easier to read. So Stoddard will pitch here at Wrigley Field. Stoddard is a 6'5", walk. 14 is high. Kennedy, a 3-5, and that's a base hit. He'll hit one into right field. And Kennedy gets a single. As these Padres are hitting the ball all over the place. Here's K-Mac. Infield set for double play, even though it really doesn't matter. So Stoddard will pitch. Stoddard a 3-7. That's a range play, 11. That's a 17. It's not a range play. McReynolds, a 2-1. And against the righty, it's a base hit pass short. That's going to be a single. Kennedy's base running speed is a 2. And on a single pass short, he is not going to make third, so he will hold at second base. And all the Padres doing are hit after hit. The hits just keep on coming. Remember the other demo game between the Yankees and the Royals? We couldn't buy a hit on either side. This game, we're getting a lot of them. Here's Martinez. Martinez is 1 for 2, but he hit a 2-run bomb his last time up. Stoddard will pitch. Stoddard 4-4 and strikeout 15. Nope, that'll miss. Martinez an 8-2, and that is going to be a fly out to center field. Fly ball to center field. Well, we can check to see if there's a fly out advance on balls hit to the outfield for runners on second and third. So we can use this fly out advance chart if we want to for runners at second and third, because now, okay, in regular inside pitch, I always check to see where the ball was hit to, and then I decide if I want to send the runner or I automatically keep him. We don't have to do that. With a 7-run lead, I'm with a base running rating of 2. I really don't think Terry Kennedy would try to third. So I'm going to say he doesn't do it, but let's roll anyway and see what happens on the fly out advance. So it's an 8-4. And now you just check here on the fly out advance. 8-4 says 8, and 8 says hold. And that's it. He held anyway. Can it be any easier than that? Here's Templeton. Templeton is 0 for 2. Runners at first and second to 1 here. Top of the 6th. Padres all over the Cubs. Stoddard, a 4-4, and that's a strikeout. And a 6. Got him. He got Templeton. Templeton against the righties at 10. That's a 6. And he got him. Strikeout there for Stoddard. He had 87 of them in 84. And that brings up the pitcher again, Eric Shaw, and I'll let him hit. Why not? He got a 7-run lead, and he's not tired yet. So let's roll on the pitcher card. And that's an 18. Now, the first thing you want to do with this BK in rating is check this number. This is an 18. If this was a 19 or a 20 on this card here, okay, for Eric Shaw, because this is his chance of striking out without even getting to here, okay? That's a 19 or 20, all right? That would have been an automatic strikeout. 8-7 is the roll, and that says error on a fly ball or grounder, okay? That would have been an automatic strikeout. If that didn't fall there, now you check the roll. That's an 18, so it's not an automatic strikeout for Shaw. That's the way how we did detailed strikeouts for pitchers besides the pitcher batting card. So that's not a strikeout. So now we look at Stoddard's card. And it says error on a foul ball grounder at the park. So now we go to Wrigley Field, and 7-3. 7-3 is against the righty is a fly. Now, Wrigley Field, against the lefty would have been a triple to center field. Against the righty, it's a fly out to center field. And Stoddard is a righty. And that's going to go ahead, and that will be a fly out to center field, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits for the Padres. Shao hit one pretty deep, but it wasn't deep enough. And it's still 8-1 Padres. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Does anybody have any comments so far or anything like that as I continue to play? Gary Matthews will lead off. Matthews is 0 for 2. Padres all over the Cubs in this one. Shao will pitch. Shao 8-7. Against a righty, it's a home run result. He doesn't adjust the home runs on his card at all. Against a righty, Matthews needs an 11. That's a 16. It's too high. He doesn't hit a home run. Matthews, a 1-4, but he will get a base hit. He'll hit a single past second base. So Matthews will get his first hit of the game. Here's Durham. Durham is 1 for 2. Matthews on it first. Again, no strategy rolls. Shao, 4-3 against the lefty. It's a blank. Durham, 3-1, and that's what. And now this here does matter. Now 3-1 is an NS8 for Durham. This is if runners are not in scoring position. This is an S8. There are no runners in scoring position, so this would be an S8, but Shao can turn this into an out. So now we go to here. On Shao's card, he has an N and an R rating. His rating is the same for either one. You check the D20. If the rating is equal to or less than the rate, the ballpark, the batter result remains the same. I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. I think he's got it reversed. If it's less than, hold on. I'm a little confused. I forget what it was. Hold on a second. I got the rule book here. Just want to be sure I get it right. But I'm pretty sure I do. The runners in scoring position. Let me get to it, but I'm thinking I'm not forget it was higher than or less than. Hold on. It is, by the way, it is, however, a optional rule. You don't have to use that rule. You don't have to. You can just accept what's there. Hold on. I know it's here. I just got to find it. Less than or equal to is out, less. Okay, right. Okay, that's correct. Okay. So if the roll is less than the pitcher's rating, converted to an out. Okay, that's right. So it's less than. So this would be a 10. A 10 or lower, he turns this single into an out. That's a 7. That's an out. So Eric Shao, even though Leon Durham has a base hit on this card, because Eric Shao does pretty well against with runners that are not in scoring position, that Gary Matthews is on first because he's not in scoring position. He turned that S8 now into an out. That now is turned into an F8. It's now a fly out. And the runner holds. That becomes a fly out to center field. You see how that works? So now if this was an 11 or higher, this S8 would still stand. But because Shao, that was a 7, and we go lower, he turned the S8 into a fly out instead. That shows the pitcher ability with runners, how to hold off runs with runners in scoring position. But since it was not a runner in scoring position, that 10 works either way. So Durham flies out instead because Eric Shao did a pretty good job on the mound. Here's Moreland. That's right, less than or equal to. So Moreland is 1 for 2 with a double. So you think, I'm surprised if I didn't confuse anybody on that. Don't worry, I'll get it right. Shao, a 4-1, strikeout 2, and he got Moreland. And that is the fourth K for Shao, 2 down. And now here's the Penguin. Yep, growing pains. Say is 0 for 2. Shao will pitch. Shao, 5-2. And against the righty, it's an automatic out. That's a 7, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And that'll be easily caught by Carmelo Martinez. And that is a no runs and a hit for the Cubs. But you see what I'm trying to show you, the nuances this game has. If you want to compare, as I said, I really don't want to compare this game to any other games that are on the market. But if you want to say with the runners on base kind of thing and scoring position, if you want to kind of compare that to Stratomatic's clutch ability, you could. If you want to look for a comparison, that could be Stratomatic's clutch ability on the batter card, where if a batter has that omega sign, he turns it out into a hit with runners in scoring position. You could use that as a comparison. But in this game, okay, the batter has the ability to, with runners in scoring position, to get runners in, but the pitcher can shut it down. That's the one thing SOM can't do. So even though with a runner in scoring position, Leon Durham, he could get a base hit, but if the pitcher is good against runners in scoring position, he's shut it down. And it's a reverse, and it can be the reverse. So if you want to compare that to maybe the Stratomatic clutch ability, you can. You can. I'm going to leave Tim Stoddard on the mound for the Cubs. And leading off with the top of the order for the Friars, there's Wiggins. So that's how you can, if you want to make a comparison between the two, that's pretty much your comparison. Please believe me or not, Chris Davis doesn't look at any other games. He just cares about his own. Stoddard, 7-7, wild pitch, it's a blank. Wiggins, 6-1, and that's popped out to second. So 1 out. And now here's Mr. Padre. Stoddard, 6-4, and against the lefty, it's a blank. Gwynn, 3-5, and that is now that is a R with an automatic out of 2. This is if runners are in scoring position, but there are no runners in scoring position, so this is ignored. They just follow. You just take the normal result. Since there are no runners in scoring position, you do not go to the batter card. You only go here if the result matches. So if there were runners in scoring position, then you check Stoddard's result here to see if he takes a hit away or gives up a hit when it should have been an out. But since there are no runners in scoring position, you ignore it. It's just an automatic out. It's just a grounder short. So 2 outs for Garvey. Stoddard is now tired. Stoddard will pitch. Stoddard, 7-7, wild pitch. It's a blank. Garvey, 7-8, and that's a fly out to center field, middle of the inning. Finally, a nice, easy inning on the Padres. We go to the bottom of the 7th with the 7th inning stretch, but I'm not going to do a 7th inning stretch. We want to get this game done. They still got to get ready for tonight's inside pitch game. I'm going to tell you right now, even playing my 99 inside pitch tonight is going to feel a little wonky now that I've just played a couple of games of inside pitch advanced. I almost wanted to ask Chris, could you create 99 real quick and send it to me? But, of course, the game is not available yet, and I do not want him to send me anything if it's not ready. Bottom of the 7th, Shao can pitch to 2 more batters before he tires. And Jody Davis will lead off for the Cubs. And he hit a bomb his last time. It was 1 for 2. 8-1 in favor of the Padres. Shao, 3-5. Walk, 8 is got him. That's a walk. Davis is a 7. +1 from the ballpark is 8. That is an 8, and he will walk Davis. Leadoff walk to Davis. The next batter is Boa. Infield set for double play. Even though the double play modifier is not really needed, but isn't really needed. But I kind of put double play to remind me to roll for certain double plays. What I may do is I may go ahead when I create a new card like this, I may say double play, pitcher versus where it's hit to, and wherever the ball is hit, where the ball is hit to, something like that. Shao, 6-6, walk 2, and that's ball 4. He walked Boa. So now the Cubs have got something going on here. He is now tired, and we're going to see a pinch hitter for Stoddard as he's going to come out. So a new pitcher here coming in now, a new pinch hitting for the Cubs. I'm going to use, he's a righty. I'm going to use Jay Johnstone. Johnstone will pinch hit against Shao. He's tired. I'm going to let him pitch. I'm going to let him pitch so he can get out this inning. It's an 8-1 game. It's exhibition. It doesn't really matter. So should we bury regular inside pitch when advanced game comes out? I said this before. I'll say it again. Regular inside pitch is not going anywhere. If you still want to play regular inside pitch, you will still create new seasons for it. It's not going anywhere. Inside pitch advanced is not going to be for everyone. I'll tell you right now. I wish I was playing 99 inside pitch advanced already. Shao will go ahead and pitch to Johnstone. I'm going to keep him on the mound. Shao, 8-8, walk. 15 is high. Johnstone, 3-4. It's a ground ball to first. It's a grounder to first. Let's see if they turn a double play. So, Johnstone, so it's hit to first. So we go ahead and check the double play modifier. Hit to first, it's a -2. Okay? So a -2 and a -1 from Shao. So we're going to subtract 3. We're going to subtract 3 from the die roll. That's a 15. 15 minus 3 is 12. Jay Johnstone has a double play rating of 12+. That is still a double play. Davis will move to third. Boa and Johnstone is out, 2 away. 3-6-3 double play. As a member, pivot rolls are no longer needed in the game. Pivot ratings are no longer used. He streamlined it, and I think it makes even more sense. So now there are 2 outs, and now the batter is Dernier. If this game is better, why would I get the old game? I didn't say it was better. It's different. It's different. Some people may just like some people, if you're an inside pitch player, if you're an inside pitch player and you just don't feel like this game is for you, stick with inside pitch. This is not a better game. This is a different version of the game. It's different. It's a different flavor of ice cream, Devo9. This is strawberry compared to maybe chocolate. So here's Dernier. Dernier is 0 for 3. Shao will continue to pitch. He's trying to get out the inning. He's tired, though. Shao, 5-1 against a righty. Strikeout 9. That's going to miss. Dernier, a 3-1. It's a ground out to short. He will get out of the inning. It'll be handled by Templeton. Templeton tosses it over. Retires aside. Nothing across except a couple of walks. Still 8-1 after 7. Once I get everything down pat, I will move as fast on this game as I do my regular inside pitch. We go to the top of the... remember, guys, I have every single printed season of inside pitch that I purchased from Chris. I have every single season he has, from 1956 to 2024. Am I going to do inside pitch advanced? At first, I really wasn't sure I was going to do that. I am going to do that because now I'd rather play this. Top of the 8th, here's Nettles, and we need a pitcher for the Cubs. And we're going to go with, let's see, left, right. Do we have a lefty here in the bullpen for the Cubbies? Let's see. Doesn't really matter. Down 8-1, it's exhibition. They're all right-handers? Yeah, they are. Okay. I'm going to bring in Warren Brewster. He's going to come in and pitch for the Cubs. He can pitch to 6. So Warren Brewster is going to come on to pitch for the Cubs here to start the top of the 8th. So Brewster will pitch to Greg Nettles. Nettles is 0 for 3, but he has a sacrifice fly. Brewster, 2-2. It's a blank. Nettles, 6'8", and that's a ground out to second base, 1 down. Next batter is Kennedy. Brewster, 6'5", and that's a pitcher result. That's an 8. Again, it's the lefty. Against the lefty, 2-11 is going to be an automatic out. So here you read that. So here, a 6'5" off of Brewster's card. Against the lefty, okay, a 6'5" here, right? A 6'5" is a double question mark. And you go to this one right here. Kennedy is a lefty, and now you read the D20. The D20 is an 8, and it falls right here between 2-11. That's an automatic out. That's an automatic out. And in this case, and you would here in this case, you would have to re-roll to see where that went. In this case, you already used the D20. If you want to, you don't have to. It was an 8. So if I want, I'll just say it's a ground out to second. I can use the same roll. Because with automatic out, it really doesn't matter. So I'll just use the 8, the D20, ground out to second, 2 down. Didn't even have to roll the dice again. Here's K-Mac. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. Brewster, 6'7", hit by pitch +0. McReynolds, hit by pitch rating is a 0. The 11, of course, is too high. He was never hit by a pitch, apparently, in 84. K-Mac, 6'1". It's a fly to right, and the inning is over. Here's not Carmelo Martinez. We got to go to the bottom of the 8th. Going to bring in a new pitcher for the Padres, even though they got a 7-run lead. Ryan Sandberg leads off for the Cubs. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Shao's done a great job. I'm going to bring in a new pitcher. And let's see. Cubs have right, and left. So I'm going to bring on... Let's see. I'm going to bring on Greg Harris. 2 wins, 2 losses, 3 saves in 84 with a 2.48 ERA, and he can pitch to 6 of them. So Greg Harris is going to come on to pitch against Sandberg to start the bottom of the 8th inning. So Harris will pitch a 2-5 against a righty. It's an automatic out. That's a 20, and it's going to be a ground out to second. Don't even have to roll another die. Here's Matthews. Matthews is 1 for 2 with a single. Yep, no need to wake up the goose. Harris, 5-2, and that's a walk. The 7 is good. Matthews walked a lot against right-handers. That will be a base on balls, and Matthews will trot to first. Second time he's on base. Here's Durham. Infield a double play, even though it doesn't really matter, but that kind of reminds me to do the double play right. So Harris will pitch. Harris, 2-5, and against the lefty, that's a blank. Durham, a 4-2, and that's a double to center field. Now, with a 7-run lead, all right, a 7-run lead, it's supposed to be only 2 bases for a double and 1 for a single because it's more than 6-run with a 6-run advantage. So I'm going to put Matthews on at third and Durham on at second. But for the sake of argument, let's do the roll. Let's do the base advancement rule. So a double, that was what? A double to center field. So we checked this one here, D1H. So just for the heck of it, let's see what it would have been. So D1H, we roll. And that is a 1-6. A 1-6 says advance. Advance if the base running rating is a 6 to 8. Is a 6 to 8. Gary Matthews' base running rating is a 4. So he would hold at third, and that's it. And Durham just stops at second. And that's it. That is your new way to run the bases. He wanted to implement this. He wanted to implement this idea for regular inside pitch, but because inside pitch for version 4 of inside pitch, because of inside pitch, the way it was already set up with all the calculations, he felt it would be reinventing the wheel for the original game. So we decided to use this system for inside pitch advanced. You can see how easy it was to figure that out. Don't need no fast action cards, just dice. Throw your fast action cards away. Runners at second and third. Now the batter is so it's a double for Durham. So runners at second and third for Moreland. The infield's going to stay back. It's a 7-run lead. So runners second. Now, what about the infield in chart? We'll see what happens here. Greg Harris is going to pitch to Moreland. No strategy rolls. Harris, 4-4. Wild pitch. Now, we do check for a wild pitch. 1 to 8 is a wild pitch for Greg Harris. That's a 6, and that's going to be a wild pitch, and that's going to bring in Matthews. So Greg Harris does uncork a wild one, and that'll bring in a base runner. And now it's 8-2. And we'll do it again. And we'll do it again. Harris will pitch. Harris, 2-1. Walk, 7. Yes, he walked him. Moreland against the righties a 6, but the ballpark gives him +1, which is a 7, and Moreland will walk. So Greg Harris coming in here and having some issues. Second walk given up by Harris, and here is the Penguin. Penguin is 0 for 3. Runners staying, Fields is still staying at double play depth. Harris will go ahead and pitch. Still, strategy rolls are still off. Harris, 7-3. Strikeout, 11. Got him. He will strike out, say. So Harris gets his first strikeout. He had 45 Ks in 84. He had 24 walks in 84. And that is now the second out. And now here's Davis with 2 outs now and runners at the corners. Harris will go ahead and pitch. Harris, 3-2. That's a walk, 7, and he walked Davis. So now the bases are loaded. So bases are loaded. And the batter now is Boa. Harris is tired. They're going to take him out. So Harris comes in there, kind of a little ineffective, and they're going to go ahead and bring on a new pitcher. They are not going to bring out the Goose, but they are going to, let's see, Boa. Let's see, he's a little bit better against lefties. So coming on to pitch for the Padres is going to be Dave Dravecky. 9 wins, 8 losses, 8 saves. A little better against Boa is a little worse against left. Oh, not Dravecky. My bad. Not Dravecky. Wrong. Not Dravecky. I don't want him. I want Luis DeLeon. That's what I want. Luis DeLeon is going to come on to pitch. He's a little, because Boa has issues against righties. So bases loaded, 2 outs, 8-2 Padres. But we all know that no lead is safe when you play inside pitch advance. Strategy rolls are still on. DeLeon, 2-3. Home run result. Now against the righty, Boa, unfortunately, has zeros. And no, if it's a 0 or a 20, if the batter has a 0 rating or a 20 rating, you do not bring a 0 up to a 1 if it's possible. If they have a 0, they're not hitting a home run. If they have a 20, if they're higher than a 20, it's an automatic home run. So no, even though with bases, if DeLeon had a +1 with runners on base, okay, and even though Boa has a 0 and you add 1 and that is a 1, that would not be a home run. So that still allows it where if the batter didn't hit a home run against that batter, against that type of pitcher or so, he's not going to get that home run. So if it's a 0, the home run rating where you add or base runners or 20 will not matter. You ignore that. So it's a home run result, but Boa didn't have any, so that's automatically that's going to be a blank. So we go right to Boa's card. Boa is a 6-3, and that's going to be an automatic out. It's going to be a fly out to left, and he will choke, and that will end the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 3 walks, and a wild pitch. And it's 8-2 after 8, as Boa just goes ahead and flies out to left. So we go to the top of the ninth. 8-2 Padres. Brewster is going to stay on the mound, and Carmelo Martinez will lead off. So Brewster will go ahead and pitch to Martinez, top of the ninth. Brewster, 4-1. It's a blank. Martinez, 3-5. And against with runners in scoring position, it's an RS6. It's a base hit past short. There are no runners in scoring position. So you just take the original result. So it's a base hit. So Martinez gets a single. It's his second hit of the game. Here's Templeton. All the R or the N is supposed to do can be changed by the pitcher. So Martinez on it first, infield double play. And here's Templeton. He is 0 for 3. Brewster, 2-7. Strikeout, 9, and got him. You will get Templeton on a K. And that's out number 1. Strikeout, it says actually KHR, but Brewster wasn't tired. So the strikeout against the righties at 10, and that's a 9, and he got him. So 2 outs. And we're going to see a pinch hitter for Luis De Leon, even though I could bring in his batter card, which stinks. So I'm going to bring in a new pinch hitter for the Padres. And let's see. Let's see what we got available. So we got a righty on the mound. So let's bring in, do I have a lefty on the, yes, I do. And we're going to go with, see, here's the funny thing about, see, here's like Tim Flannery. Tim Flannery is a lefty. But if you look at this up here, you'll see he never pinch hit. He never pinch hit against left-handed pitching, but against righty he did. So I'm going to bring in Flannery, even though Bobby Brown also pinch hit, but Flannery had more pinch hits. So this kind of tells me who to bring into bat, in a way, if I want to follow that rule. So Tim Flannery is going to pinch hit against Brewster with 2 outs. That is a very nice touch by Chris. That's a very nice touch by Chris to show you how that batter pinch hit against certain pitchers. That's a very nice touch. Brewster will pitch. Brewster is a 5-4. That's a range play at the park. Wrigley Field, 5-4. And now that is a grounder to second base. Second baseman is Sandberg. His range is a 5. That's a 6. He won't get bet. That's going to be a base hit. Martinez is a base running rating of 3 and a single pass second. Base running rating is a 3. That's not fast enough. He will get to second to hold. So Flannery hits a base hit. And now the top of the order for Wiggins. Wiggins is 1 for 4 with a double. Still 2 outs. Now Brewster is tired. I'm going to let him pitch because Brewster is due to lead off the 9th. So Martinez on it second, Flannery on it first. Brewster will pitch. And 6-6. Strikeout, 20. And no, Wiggins doesn't strike out. Wiggins, 6-5. And that's a ground ball to third. Easily picked up there by the Penguin. And I'm going to say he tags the bag to force out Martinez. And that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits for the Padres. We go to the bottom of the 9th. But will we see some 9th inning magic? Bottom of the 9th inning, Padres lead 8-2. They need a pitcher. And even though I really don't need to wake him up, I'm going to go ahead and wake him up anyway. The Gooses lose. Rich Goose Gossage. 10 wins, 6 losses, 25 saves in 84. I'm going to wake him up. So Goss is going to come on to pitch. And we have a pinch hitter coming in for Brewster. So Brewster leaving, and the Cubs need a batter. So let's see. We got lefty. We got a switch. That's it. So I got Dave Owen, and I have Dave Owen. I have Dave Owen and Richie Hebner. Well, Richie Hebner batted 28 times, pinch hit against righties 28 times, and Dave only 2. I'm going to bring in Hebner. That's one way to use that. So Richie Hebner will pinch hit against Gossage. Yep, you have a goose, a penguin, a rhino, and a bull. Because you got Leon Durham. So Gossage is going to pitch, and he can pitch to 7 before he tires out. So bottom of the ninth, 8-2 Padres. Gossage, 6-3. And that's a range play, 12. That's a 5. It will be a range play. Hebner, 6-4. And that's a ground ball to first. That ball is hit to Garvey. His range is a 5. And he will get it. Garvey will go ahead and take care of it. Gossage will come on over and make the play. And that is out number 1. On a ground ball to first, Garvey makes the play, 1 down. Here's Dernier. Dernier is 0 for 4. You went to this project with minimal knowledge of baseball, and now I have learned a lot, even how to score a game, and love watching how your season's playing out. Yes, it is, isn't it? Gravedigger Hebner. Yes, it is. Gossage will pitch a Dernier. Gossage, 3-7. Strikeout. Got him. Easily. He goes ahead and gets Dernier. Struck him out. Dernier was 0 for 5. Rough night for him. Rough day. And now the last batter is Rhino. May he rest in peace. Rhino is 0 for 3 with a walk. The Goose against the Rhino. Goose, 7-6. Error on a booted ball. Sandberg, 6-5. And nope, that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Getting under that's going to be Kevin McReynolds. He'll take a couple of steps backward, puts out his glove, blop, and the ball falls into it. That's your demo game. The Padres will beat the Cubs today, 8-2. For the Padres, 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors. For the Cubs, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher is Eric Shao. The losing pitcher is Rick Sutcliffe. And I'll give Gossage and De Leon a hold. So that's how you do it. That's the second demo game for Inside Pitch Advanced. I will do a third, and that will be probably Friday night, and that's going to be 2024 New York Mets against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm going to have Sean Manaea pitch for the Mets and Tyler Glasnow pitch for the Dodgers, as we can see how this game works with a modern feel to it. So, or I should say contemporary feel. All right. So, does anybody here have any comments they want to see after the second demo game? It didn't take long this time because I really didn't go through explanations. I wanted to see if I could play this game at normal speed. The reason why it still lasted 2 hours was because I still had to make some explanations. But what do you guys think? I think this is awesome. I think this is more fun. I think it's streamlined even better. There's a lot more things that can happen in real baseball that even the regular Inside Pitch doesn't have. But remember, as I said, I said, keep on making seasons for Inside Pitch. This might not be everybody's cup of tea. You may want to stick with the regular IP, and that's fine. Okay. But, I think there are big improvements. All right. And Ernest Cruz says you'll stick with Strat, and that's fine. You stick with Stratomatic. I'm not going to knock Stratomatic. It's one of the best games out there. Absolutely. Okay. But, it's it has some nuances that Strat doesn't have. And of course, Strat has nuances that Inside Pitch doesn't have. But, it's really something you should take a look at. I got to play Inside. I'll be back online in a few hours for Inside Pitch 99. We have the Anaheim Angels taking on the Oakland Athletics. 1999 season continues. We'll be at Network Associates Coliseum as I restart the 99 season. This 99 is All-Star Week, so I will have the All-Star game at Fenway Park on probably Thursday by the looks of it during my break. It's the All-Star break. And I will have a 2024 demo game slated for Friday of this week. So, So does anybody have any comments, any quick questions that maybe I can answer before I'll give a few more, I'll lay on a few more minutes before I shut this off. But does anybody have like any more information? I mean, the cards. I think the cards are beautiful. I think the way he did the cards are very beautiful. I think it's very readable. The print is a bit smaller than the original card. I agree. All right, the print is a bit smaller, but I can read it. All right, I can read it with glasses. Of course, without glasses, I can't see shit. I can't see shit. Beta's still coming next week. So that's the plan. The plan is to go with the beta next week. He'll release a download of the same card sets that he sent me: 78, 84, 2024. Only the final four, only the playoff teams from those seasons. It's not every team, okay? But right now he says 78, 84, and 2024 are going to be the first 3 seasons available for Inside Pitch Advanced when he does the official launch. There'll be a new card set. There's a new field. There's a new rare play chart as well. Okay, so this is for people that really want to jump into it. I did tell him, as I said, there may be people that may not want to go back to Inside Pitch, but he'll still make seasons for regular Inside Pitch, as well, of course, for Inside Pitch Advanced. I did warn him. All right, I did say this to him truthfully. I did warn him. If you're going to make a new game, you're going to need to get new seasons out ASAP. Because if you don't have a season available for that, if you don't have everybody's favorite season or a season people want to play, they're not going to buy the game. You got to get seasons out. Of course, my favorite season is 1986 with the 86 New York Mets. Okay. Brian B's favorite season is 1976. Okay. Al Red Sox fan, his favorite season, I believe, is 1967 with the Red Sox, and 75. Okay. 1969 is a favorite season of many. 1977 is a favorite season. 2002 is a favorite season of many. Okay, 2016, and of course 1979, and of course the seasons I've done already in replay. Okay, that's what I told him a couple of seasons from each decade to start. He is going to go ahead. I think he wants to release a poll for people to go ahead and say which seasons they want to start with. But he will release pretty much every single season he can. All right. I mean, 1947, Jackie Robinson's rookie year. 1956, his last year. 1961 is a favorite season of many. Okay, with Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. 1994 is a favorite season, the season that was canceled. All right. There's a lot of great, and of course, there are people that like modern seasons. 2024, which will be available. 2022 or 2016, 2015. I told him, I said, you got to get seasons out. If you're going to release this, you should release this new season every couple of weeks if you possibly can. You should release a new season every couple of weeks. So if that's the case, then you can have if you release the game officially in about a year, you can have about 20 to 30 seasons already made. After 2 years, you could have maybe every season you have available for Inside Pitch Advanced. All right. Whether he's going to do that or not, I don't know. Okay. But I know this. I told him to go all in. I told him to go all in on Inside Pitch Advanced. If this is the game that you really always wanted to make, then you need to go all in. Make your traded players, for different teams, so that each player that was on different teams has his own card for that team. Okay. Check your errors. Make sure all your bugs are worked out. You're concerned with any new game that takes in front of the bugs and errors. Yes, there is. Okay. But there are not going to be any bugs or errors on the cards. If there are any bugs or anything in mechanics, they'll probably be in the charts. And if there's a chart, no big deal. You just download the new chart and that's it. All right. So any charts he's going to do. That's why Davo9, he is trying to go ahead, all right, and iron out all the bugs now. And that's why he wants you to play the beta. So when the beta is released, download some of the cards, download the charts, play the game and send him information to what you think you liked and what you didn't like before he finalizes it. He's asking you guys for help. I don't know of any other ball game that does that. There may be only one other game that does, and that's Greg, and that's Bink Stanley from Fall Classic. He likes to ask his people for help, okay, for certain situations, okay? Bink Stanley of Fall Classic Baseball, he likes to ask opinion. I don't see Strat asking anybody. I don't see Appa asking anybody. I don't see anybody else asking for anybody. So that's the thing about it. Download the demo, download the beta, play it, and give him a chance to make the changes he thinks he might need to make, okay? Then he'll change these cards, because these are, cards that he sent me. He sent me these cards, but these are not official because these are beta cards. These could still change. These could still change until he releases the season officially. Once the season is released officially, all right, then these cards are going to stay as they are, unless, of course, you find any errors. And remember, if you find errors on the cards, let them know. If it's a printed set, they'll send you a replacement. If it's a PDF, they'll send you a new PDF file to go ahead and fix it. All right. Remember, there's always going to be some errors. Okay, but he fixes them usually. That's why it's like ballpark name errors. Okay. He named the 1978 Kansas City team. He nicknamed the ballpark Kauffman Stadium. I told him, man, that's Royal Stadium in 78. You got to get the ballpark names right. Okay. So I know he'll fix that. He has Angel Stadium for the 2024 Angels, for 1984 California Angels. It was Anaheim Stadium. So I told him you gotta make sure you get those right. Okay. There's always going to be mistakes, but he'll fix them. There's nobody better at customer service than him. And there's also, if you want to mark customer service, you got him, you got Keith Avalon from History Maker Baseball, and of course, Joe Bryan from Payoff Pitch, and Bink Stanley from Fall Classic. But that's how it works there. Does anybody have any more questions or any more comments they want to make before I shut this down? I heard nothing for 10 seconds. I'm going to shut her down. Thank you all for joining me today. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. We will still have Inside Pitch 1999 tonight. The Anaheim Angels against the Oakland Athletics. July 3rd game as I go back to the 1999 season. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. I'll see you guys later tonight. The San Diego Padres beat the Chicago Cubs in a nice exhibition game of demo of Inside Pitch Advanced, 8-2. We'll see you guys later.